with this podcast, I want them to know your story. So let's go deep into young Victor Barnett. Where you from? How did you get to Milwaukee? If you from Milwaukee, let's hear a little more about you. Man, how y'all doing, man? It's Mr. Mistakes and Millions, man. Back again, like I said, man, with this podcast, man. With this podcast here, man, I want to shine a light on Milwaukee businesses, Milwaukee entrepreneurs, Milwaukee in general, man, because we got the spotlight, and I wanted to aim the light on business and people that overcame their challenges and didn't never give up. They kept going, and that's what we're here doing today, man. And the guest I got today, man, my good big brother, man, Victor Barnett, man.
Appreciate you having me on the show, man. Honored to be here, man.
Thanks for coming, man.
For sure.
You're the first one on the pod. How I feel? Is this your first podcast?
No, I done did a few conversations on the mic, but today, being honest, is real special to me to be able to sit here and conversate with somebody that I saw grow up from a boy into the man that he's becoming. Yeah, that's something special for me because everybody know I'm all about unity and working together.
I appreciate that, man. I got a couple questions, man. A lot of people know you already, man, but you've been my mentor. I joined the Rebels when I was about 16, 17. And walking through these halls, I really didn't know nothing about the Rebels, man. And I want to know, with this podcast, I want them to know your story. So let's go deep into young Victor Barnett. Where you from? How did you get to Milwaukee? If you from Milwaukee, let's hear a little more about you.
I got a whole history story, man. Tell me when it get too boring or too long.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm originally from a little small town in Mississippi. I remember growing up playing sports. We used to go outside and we play sports from 8, 9 in the morning till 10 at night, right? Sports always. And in the middle, we would go home just to eat and then come right back out. So sports was real big. We was like brothers. You know, everybody went home, came back together, couldn't wait to be around each other. So I remember being about 5th grade and I used to watch TV and I would see the civil rights movement and all those things. And I used to watch TV and be like, I'm going to help make a difference. I had a little saying, I was going to change the world. I didn't know what that was, but I knew one day I was blessed enough to learn, be around older people. So I was like, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to make a difference. So since me being so good in sports, I figured I was going to take that sports piece, connect it to business because I had a granddad that we used to help him raise his hogs. And one day I saw him sell one of them hogs for $500. So I'm like, oh, that's what business is. So I knew sports because the athletes had influence. The business side of things, I thought together we would be able to change the world.
Wow. And you thought about that as a young one.
Yeah. I was 5th grade, man. And my family relocated, moved up north. And I was in the 8th grade then. And I still had this, wanted to change the world, make a difference. And I didn't know what it was. So then one day I had friends and the next day they was gone. Then I have another friend and he was gone and nobody would talk about where they was going. Found out years later they were being incarcerated. It was called Ethan Allen Wells for boys, right? And I said, ding, the light went off. I wanted to keep young people from being taken away from their family and friends was that thing I was going to do to make a difference. I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club and pay attention to the front desk. All my friends would be like, man, let's kick it. Let's go play ball. Let's go shoot pool. I'd be there in a minute because I'm listening to how they answer the phone. Wow. You know, so I'm learning. And man, that was in my heart, the beginning of running Rebels. So when I got 19, it was off and running.
See, I never knew that, man. So you was watching the Boys and Girls Club, visualizing, knowing what they doing and that can help you be where you are today.
Yep. I knew I was blessed to connect with young people, true, but I didn't know how to do no youth program. So I had to learn from somewhere. And that's so important now is a lot of people need to learn before they get down.
So you was working with the youth, right? I heard about this place called the Tot Lot that you was at. Can you explain that a little bit?
Actually, the Tot Lot was a little low court right around the corner from Rufus King High School, but down the street from where I started, where I lived at, right? So the Running Rebels, how it got started was there was a young man that I used to stay with his family. We was like family, and I used to live with him. He had like 13 brothers and sisters, big family. but he was always sad. He was always in the corner like he's not happy. So then when I found out and talked to him about what's going on, found out some of it was he wasn't accepted. He wasn't in the in crowd, and it was because he wasn't good in basketball. So I said, you know what? We're going to change that. So we got together. I was his big brother, and I helped him get good in basketball. And then from there, we just kept going. And that court was down the street from his house. And I told him to get his friends and come to the basketball court. So we got started with him. And then after a while, we had 50 brothers talking about they wanted to be a part of the Running Rebels basketball team. And that was in 1980.
1980. So wow. It started at a top lot with one man. What's the man name? Young man?
My
grown man.
Oh, Dale Williams.
Dale.
That's the first Running Rebel youth. And he's still around. And everybody know that I poured into him. And he poured into, because he had a basketball team that didn't lose a game in Milwaukee for probably 3-4 years when they was about 12, 13 years old. Well, that's how good the basketball was. But that was second to us. You know, I had some good ball players. He had some good ball players. But I tell people when they ask me, did I know that Running Rebels was going to grow into this? I tell them, yeah. And I don't mean no arrogant by that, but I just know if you give me some young brothers that ride with me, all when they're in the 8th grade, 9th grade, get in high school, if they stick around, wow, what we would be able to do. And here we are 45 years later.
5 years.
And some of them same brothers like Dale and others are still around.
Wow. 45 years, man. Top lot Dale, man. So nowadays, what do the Rebels do nowadays?
True. Any and everything. Even back then, I had brothers that was involved in street stuff, and I had to deal with them a certain way. I had young brothers that could skate really good, so I had to make sure they got a chance to go skating. So back then, it was like everybody's individual and different. Now, Running Rebels has a holistic approach. Whatever we can do to help a young brother. And if they want to swim and we ain't got no pool, it's our job to get them connected to somewhere where they can go swim. So we're a mentoring program overall. But really, I just say everybody's different. And what does that person need to be successful?
Your story is so, I know I keep going in and back and forth, man, but you said the word mentor. What do mentorship mean to you?
Well, it was a part of my life always. There was a brother that was there for me. And I remember him helping me get better in baseball, helping me be able to, if I couldn't afford a snow cone, he would buy me a snow cone. But he instilled so much confidence in me. He had a chant that he had all of the young people he working with saying, and my nickname was Pete. So he had me saying, Pete's the greatest one. So when I'm down, I got this chant saying, Pete's the greatest one. So it helped me get over a lot, but building that confidence. And he was like my big brother. But, we didn't call it mentoring, but he was a mentor even way back then. When I came up north and realized kind of what I wanted to do, it was to be able to keep people from being incarcerated, right? You can't do that if you don't know them. So it was all about that relationship, that bond, that connection. And that's what mentoring is all about.
So you've been doing this mentoring stuff, and he did it on a smaller scale. You did it on a bigger scale, Running Rebels. Do your mentees come back and reach out? Because how many youth do you think you done helped throughout these 45 years?
I don't know, but I know it's thousands. But even for me, it started the same way. I started with Dale Williams, one young man. Then that turned into 50 young people wanting to be on the basketball team. But the same thing that my mentor did for me is the same thing I did for Dale, and the same thing I did for that 50. That next year was 100. So it's all about that relationship. How do I get close or cool with that young person? Some of mine was trick of the trade. I could play basketball pretty good. So if I could shoot better than them, then they might want to kick it with me. And that allows me to bond with them and be able to get them to look at life a little bit differently. But mentoring can be one person, or it can grow into lots of people. But the principle of the core work is the core work. How do I get close to cool with this young person that they trust me and they believe in me when I'm trying to suggest that they should consider some things a little differently?
If, you in this business of nonprofit world, right? We ain't gonna get too in depth about it, but you do, like, the Rebels is real good. What is the troubles you went through doing this? Because you didn't start off getting what you get nowadays. Like, can you give me a backstory on how it was getting funded back then, or how was you doing it while working another job? Because you wasn't doing Rebels full time. Can you give me a little backstory on that?
Yeah, one of the things and challenges I have to adjust to is I did this work because it was in my heart. I did that for about 16, 17 years and wasn't no funding, wasn't no money, wasn't no nothing except I gave young people all of me. So I, was willing to do that. And I know today society, sometimes people, see that, they think it's money in this, and next thing you know, they want to be doing mentoring, right? So that's a challenge for me and myself, but dealing with adversity, being able to overcome, because like I said, 17 years, wasn't no money, wasn't no funding. Yeah. But then when I started to receive funding, I think I stood on principles and morals and doing things the right way. One of the key examples for me is probably one year, there was a guy, a business owner, that gave me $500 to buy uniform for the basketball team, right? I think that probably was 1980 something. And the uniforms came to like $400 and some dollars, wasn't $500. I brought his change back, and he was asking me, why you bringing me back? It might have even been less than $1. Why I'm bringing it back? And I told him, I said, because I'm supposed to do this the right way. Yeah. And from that day forward, I've always said, how do I mentor and tell young people to make right choices if I'm not doing it myself? Wow. So I've always done it like the right way. I want to continue to do it the right way. And I have a problem when others want to do it for the money, but they're not doing it the right way. And how do I tell somebody that they should be sincere about this if that's not in their heart?
Wow, that's deep, man. My grandpa always tell me, he be saying, son, if you do it right the first time, you'll be all right.
Yep.
It's crazy you was like that, man. Can you, I heard you was the cheapest CEO. You brought in, you was the cheapest paid CEO out of all the nonprofits. Yeah. I think, was it Wisconsin?
Well, that was definitely here in Milwaukee. I don't know about Wisconsin. I probably would say, truthfully, it's probably overall, and I'll share with you what that was. If I did 17 years with no money and I just did it, ain't too many people going to do that, first of all. And then even once I did start receiving money, I think the first $100,000, I had to employ 4 people out of that, along with myself. That's not a lot of money when you talk about it. So a couple of years of doing that. But for probably once I started receiving funding, I probably was making, to be honest, to put my business out there, $40,000 was, the pay that I was receiving when other people in positions was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I just wanted to do it the right way. And I've always been of the belief that if others around me ain't having it to that degree, then I shouldn't have it to that degree. So always will be like that, and always be able to make money to take care of my family, but not to be able to be in a position of receiving monies that the others around me is 10,000 times below that. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's not about the money. It's about the good work. And if I receive funding, it's to be able to do more work.
That's deep, man. That's deep. Because, you see that grant, you see that money, man. A lot of people want to take that and go buy stuff for themselves, but you put it right back into the company. That's good. That takes a different person, man. I know a lot of people trying to get into this nonprofit world, man. What advice do you have for them? Like, I know you said had a real heart, do it right the first time. You not too greedy. You giving more than you receiving. What advice would you give to the people that's getting into it? Because you are like the Jordan of the nonprofit world in Milwaukee, for sure.
Appreciate that, man. I was a great ball player. So whenever I get compared to Jordan, I feel good about that. I just often feel like it has to be in your heart. Because if you're pouring into young people and you have to fix yourself first, it's going to be difficult. And we have so many grown folks, adults that they still need to figure life out. They could be 40 years old, 30 years old, and they still haven't figured life out. It's just a challenge to be able to pour into somebody else when you got to be okay. Yeah. So that's my thing, is just making sure that people that get into this work, it's in their heart. And it's not in everybody's heart. Some people, it's a job. If it's only a job, it's scary because young people can almost pick up on that and know you don't care like you should. I've had young people tell other people that, and I hear them get in there and say, hold on, young brother, but sometimes they be true. People be doing this straight up for the money, and that's just not right.
Man, when you said the adversity and picking yourself back up, man, I remember when I first came around, man, you was kind of like to yourself. You weren't really talking as much as you is now. I didn't know at the time, but I figured out later your mom passed. How did you deal with that and able to come back and, like you just said, pour into youth, pour into your team, and when you're dealing with so much yourself, how did you do that?
I think the key is adversity. I grew up in Mississippi and, we didn't have much. I was happy because I didn't realize we didn't have much. But I remember having to take a bath. I had to warm up water because we didn't have hot water. I remember when there was times that to pay some of my people before, we got any funding or money, I used to have to pay people to help me mentor, and I would pay them out of my pocket, people $20, like out of my own pocket. So those ups and downs of life, adversity, it's going to come. And I just want people to understand that, young and old. But to me, one of the biggest adversities I had to deal with when I lost my mom, she passed from cancer. And I was almost at a point of, I'm done, I want to quit. But thank God I had supporting cast around me. I had good people around me. My wife, Dawn, was there for me. But outside of that, I would have been in trouble. So I think for people to try to handle life by themselves is a big mistake because sometimes it can be too much. And you got to have somebody that's in your corner that you can turn to deal with some of those things. And for me, probably no bigger loss in the world than losing your mom.
That's a hard pill to swallow, man. I just lost my mom last year. Her birthday was just Tuesday. So me happened to, like, you was already established though. I was in a process of still trying to build and get myself up. So when my mom, my first book bag drive, I did last year at the youth center, Lighthouse down the street from my house. And I did it at Lighthouse so my mom could actually come see. She was real sick. She had diabetes and stuff like that. She could move around, but not really. But I did it at the church, walking distance, so my mom could see me do something, and she passed. And I was like, man, it's hard to, deal with it today, but I want to salute you, man, because, like I said, I want to establish you was set in stone already. What year was that?
I don't know. It's been about 14 years and it seemed like just yesterday, but one of the best joys for my life was, and you said you had an event close enough so your mom could be a part of that, is when my mom talked about how proud she was of her. She, in her dying days, man, she wrote a note and I got that note next to my bed that say how proud she was. But I was able to walk every morning, probably the last 3-4 weeks of her life. Every morning before I came to work, I could walk with my mom for a couple of blocks. And then when that last week came, she couldn't walk anymore. But I was so joyful about being able to spend that time with her. And I just felt like she poured into me enough that it allowed me to keep going when she passed. But it was rough. But that, along with other things, man, is just the signs of adversity, ups and downs of life. And we just got to figure out how to fight through some of those rough times. But I still say, man, you got to have good people around you, man. Otherwise, it could get the best of you.
It's hard. And what you said, the good people and just seeing the right thing. That's why I wanted to do this podcast, man, so we can see. Because everybody think like it's hard. It ain't sweet for nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody finna go through life.
And for me, I do want to make it known because people think Running Rebels blessed like this and always has funds and all. No, 17 years, we didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
I had to pay people out of my own pocket. So some of the hesitancy to do things or hurry up and do it, no, you got to do it right? So the adversity part, the ups and downs, I think it's important that people know, hang in there. It's going to be tough sometimes, but you got to keep fighting. And then you can get to live your dream. I'm a person that's living my dream. Every day I wake up, I'm living the dream of what I said in 5th grade of helping to make a difference, helping to change the world. No, I didn't make it professional baseball player, but right now, I think I'm working with an organization that's helping to save lives, man, every day. That's a dream come true for me. And everybody can't say that they living their dream every day. I'm living mine.
And speaking about, you having these people and you helping them live their dreams, can you name some of the people that went through their life and living their dreams as the Rebels helped them do that?
Yeah. Dale Williams being one. I mean, Dale became a basketball coach, and I used to admire him because I used to get all into the games and get all hyped up, and he was so smooth, and he just, did all of the work in practice. Then he would go out, and he became very successful as a basketball coach. But the mentor part, I mean, he used to have young people spend the night at his house, and people be like, he got 10 pizza boxes, and why he got so many pizza boxes? Because he knew feeding these young people, because they may not have nothing at home right now, was the move to make. So Dale, that was his dream come true. We got another brother, Ward Jenkins, who he's manager of Kevon Looney, NBA player, 2-time NBA champ. He dreamed of being able to pour into other people because he knew one day his basketball game would end. But now he's a manager. He does music. He does basketball. Kevon Looney is another example. Yeah. I mean, he dreamed of going to the NBA, and 2-time NBA champ, and getting plenty rebounds in the NBA, doing his thing. Yeah. So those are just some of the examples, but there's examples every week, every day of somebody that's having it rough, about to give up, and we inspire them to keep fighting, right? Mm-hmm. Just as successful there as, NBA champ Kevon Looney. So I'm proud of this organization, proud of people like yourself. I want to give you your kudos, man, because, people don't be honest and say that they could go this way or that way and make some bad choices in life. But for you to be caring about other people and doing book drives and, giving back so much to the community, man, that's what we need. We need young people that understand both sides now. You ain't always been no angel, you know what I'm saying? You made some mistakes too. For sure. People make mistakes.
Mistakes a million.
Yeah, but to get over those mistakes and then be able to get close to your dream and being able to fight hard enough to reach your dreams, that's something special, man. And so pouring into other people, to me, is the answer.
It's deep when you said fight, man. And I gotta give you flowers, man. Like the best thing the Rebels did for me, man, and I talked to you about this earlier, man, I got to see a black man every day come and rock his own brand. Like, that's you. Like, Rebels, this you. Like, I seen this though as a kid. Like, and as I grew up out the program and I come and I watch now, people like, why Trump keep going to the Rebels? I'm watching a business owner who I can call at 10 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, what up, big bro? Like, this, you can't get this everywhere. Everybody ain't blessed to see this. So I'm respecting what's in front of me, man. Like, you really one of them, man. And I'm grateful for you to be the first one on the show, man, because you was one of the first people I seen that lived their dream.
And I'm excited about being on this first show, man, because I know what you're going to be able to do. I know what you're going to be able to accomplish, and to be here starting this out. Oh, my goodness. And we do. We got to have more in front of our young people so they don't think to be successful, I got to do negative. To be successful, I got to do some of the dirt over here. No, you don't. You're going to have to put in that work. Yeah. You're going to have to get down, put yourself around the right people, but you can be very successful in doing the right things. And I think that's important. That's what we got to do. That's what I got to do. And that's what you have to do. Yeah. They need to look at you and be like, man, he ain't doing no dirt, but look, man, he's helping to open doors for other people. And growing up, it's a lot of young people. I ain't hating them because that's all they saw in front of them. That lazy uncle on the couch who need to get up and go to work. That was what they saw every day. So when they saw success, it was usually from somebody outside of their house that wasn't doing the right things. Those doing the right thing need to be closer to our young people.
That's facts. And I was in a barber shop. We was talking about how the doctors always move out or the lawyers move out. That's why if God blessed me to be whoever that, I'm gonna be around. Like, you gonna see me like, oh, that's Trev. He doing this thing. He here. Because how am I helping my people if I make all this money and move in the suburbs? You know what I'm saying?
I think that's crucial for us. One of the taglines people always used to say, what's meaningful to the organization, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have a whole bunch of slogans, but we had a few. But one of them, and it stick today, is helping the community from within. You can't be, lending a helping hand from far and you're not from within the community. So I think that's so important that people from the community that's a part of this work remain a part of it. So the people from the outside ain't telling people what to do on the inside.
That's deep, man. Wow. That's powerful. I got a question, man. I want to ask you, being around in Milwaukee, man, 45 years in this organization, in this work, what do you think is next for Milwaukee? like we got this light on us right now. You know, the rap scene is doing this thing. It's a lot, way more entrepreneurship in this world, man, that I like. You know, I'm seeing, like, I know you. I'm blessed to know a lot of different people, man. I know you, I know G, I know Cliff, Linnell. It's a lot of entrepreneurs out here that they don't know about Milwaukee. But how do you think we can help Milwaukee shine this light on entrepreneurship in business?
I think it's Milwaukee's time. I don't think people know it. You just said some of the people and some of the avenues that are about to go to a whole nother level. I've been doing this 45 years and I've seen movements that center around people coming together, but I've never, ever seen the movements that I'm seeing right now with some of those same successful people coming together. But when it comes to, and I give you my word real soon, when it comes to music, when it comes to business, when it comes to sports, really real soon, Milwaukee is going to be there. The problem with Milwaukee, and I've seen this all my 45 years, is tradition. Well, we always did it like this, and this is the way we should do it. No, it's not. Things got to change. And when somebody's wrong, we got to be okay with telling them they're wrong. In Milwaukee, too many people have too much influence and they are wrong. Period, point blank. And won't nobody tell them they wrong. We have to get to where it's okay to tell somebody they wrong. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's some gyms in this city. Mr. Beckham's baseball league been around over 50 years. He was 80 something years old out still cutting the grass. What kind of inspiration is that? That's in Milwaukee. Warren Basketball League that put so many people in the NBA, free college education because of scholarships. And that's over 50 years of Warning basketball. These are just some of the gyms here. And that model of Warning, you had some pretty rough gentlemen playing Warning basketball, but they looked up to and they respected somebody that was their coach. And that coach could get them to calm down. Those are the models that work. And in Milwaukee, those are the things that we got to make sure that continue on. But successful people all over this city, and we just needed to work together. And the problem was people was always saying, we don't have a problem. We do have unity here. We do have. No, we did not have unity to the degree we needed it. But right now, within the next year or two, some of those successful people are going to pour back into the right people and help people like you. So it shouldn't be 17 years you got to do this and not get doors open. Wasn't many people open no door for me, bro. No, I'm thinking that was the case. Oh, man, I'm doing the right thing. All these people going to help me. No, it wasn't no whole bunch of help. But now those people that you named are going to pour into the right people. We're going to help them. And I'm sorry, if you're doing wrong, Trail, I'm going to tell you. And I think the rest of the people that's elevating, somebody need to be able to tell them when they're wrong.
That's deep, man. That's deep. Last question, man. We can end it on here. If you know somebody going through life and they got dreams like you, they want to be successful, they around the wrong crowd, how can you, what game would you give them to like stay on course, stay focused, or anybody that want to get in the nonprofit world? Because I hear this is kind of a fashion now. Like I know a lot of people trying to get into this business, but
around the right people, put in the work, put in the years of work. And I'm not saying not get compensated for it, but be okay with learning from the right people and be okay with sometimes those people giving you suggestions of what you can do and should do to be able to be successful in this work. And like I said before, it's plenty people that need help, plenty lives that need to be helped to be saved. So it ain't like ain't enough work. There's plenty work out here. But you just got to do it the right way and be okay with somebody suggesting to you when you need to tweak it and things like that. But I believe in Milwaukee. And I think this show and efforts like this, if shared enough, so people can be like, oh, I do see people that's saying the wrong thing and too many people jumping behind them on social media. And social media, that's the answer. I mean, old school people like myself and my age, they don't understand it and know it. It used to take, you know, you might have a ball player 30 years ago, but the coldest thing in the world, you had to go to the park to see him. Now a person could do a dunk and it's 100,000 people saw that dunk within 10 minutes, right? So social media got to help tell our story of positivity so that now people cannot think that all young people are a waste. Because they're not. There's some making bad choices for sure. But then where's all the success stories? We don't see them like we should. So now some of those successful businessmen, We need to make sure that we got outlets, man. We got our own TV station. We got podcasts. We got the ability to get the word out. And not just Milwaukee. Let's connect with Atlanta. Let's connect with other places, right? Because some of them are doing it right. They're successful Black business owners in Atlanta getting down.
Man,
why shouldn't we have it to where some of these young people get a chance to go down there, and now when they come back, they saw some people doing it down there, and now they get with all these successful people up here.
Man, it's crazy you say that, man. I got my inspiration from, my virtual mentors in Atlanta. I watch podcasts, Wall Street Trapper, 19 Keys, and I see like Donnie and David. I see these people like, bro, they got it popping in Atlanta. I'm like, I want to go to Atlanta. But why I gotta go to Atlanta? We got this down here.
Yep. The same thing that's being done can be done.
Yeah. It's being done. It's not being shown. And that's what I'm doing with my light. I want to shine it on this. So
I do want to share this too, man. It's so important to have life meaningful things that go with you the rest of your life. I remember two things. I remember meeting Jesse Jackson when I was in high school, and him saying, I am somebody, and had me feeling like, man, just like my mentor had me talking about Pete, the greatest one. I remember rough times and saying I am somebody. And I got that through listening and looking at Jesse Jackson. Another thing for me, I ain't never been in the Pacific Ocean. I remember going in the Pacific Ocean with you and others.
The first time, yeah.
You know how meaningful that was for me to be able to say, here's a country boy from Mississippi standing in the Pacific Ocean, seeing seals over there. I ain't see no sharks and not sharks or nothing, but being able to stand in that water with you and now being able to be on a podcast with you, man, those are the type of things that will never, ever, ever leave my understanding. And to know Lil Vic Jr., my son, was right there with us.
Yeah.
And he, you, and other young people, man, the future is bright. We just got to tell that story. I was going to say the future is bright and we got to make it right.
No, we here, man. That's what we here doing, man. This is the first episode, man. I got a lot to come. I got a lot of guests I want to get on, but like I said before, man, it's an honor, Big Victor Barnett, man. You're a legend around here, man. And I know you getting your flowers, but I wanted to let you know on my platform, man. Like you inspired me to want to have my own. I seen different mentors, I had different mentors, but they didn't wear no. Man, you wear that R every day. That's your brand though. Why you think every time you see me, I'm putting myself on? Who I get that from? Yeah. I seen you doing that. So you never know who you inspiring. Just keep inspiring. Cause you never know who watching you and picking it up, man. But I'm really grateful that you did this, man. And we got a lot more to come, man. So stay tapped in, man. Like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast, man. We got a lot to come, a lot to go, man. And we blessed, man. And I want to leave with a quote, though. Shout out my granny. I love her to life. She said, she from Arkansas. She said, we got a short time to go. No, we got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. We're going to end it on that.